All right, guys, what is going on? It's Spherical here, and it really does bring a tear to my eye to say this, but we are back with the third last chapter of Hunter x Hunter, out of course, the chapters that are currently out. I don't think it's really going to hit till next week when we have to say that we're going to be here for the last time the next week after that. It's going to kind of suck. I mean, we've been with this series for a good year and a half. I mean, I didn't really realize this until just like a couple minutes ago, but it's almost been an entire year since we finished the anime, which sounds crazy. It definitely doesn't feel like we've been reading, one chapter a week for a whole year, but I do remember when we were starting the manga saying that it would take about a year to fully get through it at once a week. And I know I did say that I would think about increasing it to more than once a week, but I guess that never happened. But anyways, I mean, we're going to dive right into this again. Last episode, we learned about the Force Nen ability, and this episode, who knows what will happen. So, Chapter 388, Reflection. Let's dive right into it. Are you sure we should be letting them call all the shots? We have no choice. Learning Nen is our top priority. But if this state of affairs is what they're after, we're playing right into their hands. If they're executing a harmful plan, they'll attempt to manipulate you for their own purposes. But if they attempt any manipulation through Nen, we'll put a stop to it. Just like we warned them. We'll arrest Bill and Kurapika on the spot. We can tell if someone's being manipulated through careful observation. Our own jobs are on the line here. You can trust us. A very overbearing entreaty. No matter. If that's what the first prince's best men say, we'll leave it up to you. We have to leave Kurapika and Bill at large to a certain degree to find out their abilities. They're either using abilities they don't want seen in the other room, or they want us to think that while cutting off information. If Latulus comes out actually able to use Nen, there'll be no doubt they use some kind of ability. Yeah, okay, so of course this is the middle, like they're going in one by one to do the test thing. These participants have too little training to force open the nodes while leaving them unarmed. It's possible he has a manipulative ability that semi-coercively opens them. But Kurapika's aura will be mixed in. If I see multiple examples, I'll be able to tell if they're being controlled by Kurapika's aura. Alright, next page. Next page? Next page, okay. But Kurapika is a specialist. If the victim awoke to Nen as a byproduct of his ability, I can understand Kurapika's confidence in the timeline he gave. In that case, the only things we know for sure are that Kurapika is a specialist. He baited us with the allure of learning Nen, and he used his ability to make us into defensive pawns. He's shrewd. It's not very likely, but we can't eliminate the possibility that Bill's ability is the real deal, and this is all a distraction. They proceed by releasing information piecemeal. You're right that we'd be digging our own graves by being impatient. He's a tough one. Yes, endorsed by the first prince's soldiers. Can you reaffirm the prince's orders? Yes. Door opens. And the survey says the volume of aura flow has clearly increased. That's the sign of someone who's learned Nen and is ready for training to control it. Without prior knowledge, you'd think she'd practice the basics for at least 3 hours every day for a year. Well, I can't be certain with only one case, but I don't believe she's being controlled. Well, you did the divination, didn't you? Oh, sorry, I can't talk about it. For an impartial diagnosis and to avoid guesswork, I'm instituting a gag order on all results until everyone is through. If a violation is discovered, we'll cancel the class itself on the spot. I urge you to comply. Okay. I suppose 10th Tori, the third Prince's Royal Guard, will be the last to go. Why? They're using guards of higher ranked princes to deter intentional violations. If a violation causes cancellation, I would also censure the culprit. Yeah, so basically they're saying that obviously if somebody wanted if somebody wanted to like deter everybody else from learning Nen after they did it, they could just, well, shut everything off by spilling what happened. So they're ordering the people who go in with that in mind. Mari, you're next. Next page. Considering your age, your learning speed is commendable. You must keep things confidential even to Longi during this time. Is that all right? Even when I know it's strategy and a means to an end, flattery doesn't feel half bad. Fine, but if I feel any danger, I might withdraw. Of course, this way, please. All right, we going in. So, everything I will say from here is fact. You don't have to believe me. Our priority is to protect the lives of 14th Prince Wobble and 8th Prince Oito. For that, I will share Nen and its information with you. You are sincere that your goal is a stalemate through a balance of forces. Exactly. Information. Nen here will be used to demonstrate successful awakening to Nen. Seeds inside the cup. Normally it would be water or nothing else, but in this case, it's a necessary part of the process. Okay. Next page. Please continue. Like I've explained throughout this week, Nen can be learned by anyone, but there are individual differences in speed, and it cannot be mastered in a day. The unorthodox method is to force it through an attack using Nen. Caution is a normal response, but I swear I will not harm you or harm any of you. The word attack is convenient for conveying the taboo on it, but the term also includes healing and lending abilities. I see. Bill? Bill is an enhancer. He can induce the growth of his target with his Hatsu. And it sprouts. Next page. Wow. Wow. So my ability will awaken if you hold your hand over me like that? No, it's not as effective on untrained people, and it won't be fast enough to keep our timetable. I'm going to borrow Bill's ability and lend it to you. Technically, this is an indirect attack, but it's a lone type specialist move, and the ability itself is not aggressive in nature, but it has a side effect of semi-coercively awakening Nen in someone without abilities. If you remain unconvinced, I won't do it. You will open the door and tell them you declined. I'd like you to keep what we talked about confidential, but I know I can't bind you to it. And he did it. He's pretty clearly not being manipulated. Lattice and Myra have been primed to use Nen. What Kurapika said is true. Now, we know for sure that Kurapika used his specialist ability to induce awakening, but it's probably only one of multiple abilities he has. The information he purposely gave us acts as a deterrence. If he has a different ability on each of his finger, as seems apparent, then we might as well still know nothing about his ability. Exactly. I think a few more of you will be able to get to this point today. However, the end goal is still to come, which is mutual deterrence. Next page. The main thing is to be seen as a Nen user on first glance. Yeah, it's like appearing strong. This appearance will give you the corresponding response as a result. So what he said was true. Yes, all true. Amazing. I can tell that I'm overflowing with vitality, the aura rising like steam. It makes sense that continuous discharge would soon cause exhaustion. Exhaustion. Just like holding your breath. Imagine closing off pores and then slowly breathe out. They appear to be in training for all intents and purposes, except for them incongruously. I hate that word so much. Incongruously. That's one of those words that you hear, but I've never had to say in my life. Massive amount of aura. If that's an act, it's not a feat through manipulation. Seeing a highly skilled soldier with that much aura would necessitate caution and eliminate any physical advantages. Kurapika probably intends to repeat these classes. Is there any plausible excuse to stop them? Oh, what is that? Is that the... Wait, what? That's just the dolphin. We're currently connected through Kurapika's ability. The right to use Bulbflabane? The ability I'm loaded with has been transferred to you. Call it to activate, and you will be able to do the same thing as usual. Whoa. That aura is borrowed, so it's not your ability. But you've been primed, so by learning Ten and Hatsu through breathing exercises, you'll be able to perform the water divination by yourself and find out your type confidentially. Huh? Well, what about what you said earlier? It was too complicated to explain, and I wanted to know how far all of you were willing to go. Next page. If possible, I don't want there to be any more victims from the succession battle. For that, I want to share these abilities with as many people as I can. It would help if you could tell 10th Prince Concho and 6th Prince Senko with a positive spin that we're planning more classes. Well, about Concho, well, anyways, sure, thank you. Kurapika strategy is undoubtedly the best for the current situation, but I've seen many an honest poor man change dramatically when they strike it rich. This kind of thing is impossible to predict. Power corrupts, more so if it aligns with interest. My ability isn't suitable for combat, and I'm betting neither is Kurapika's. If the tides change and the succession battle is inevitable, we might end up crushed by the power we gave out. Does he have any cards up his sleeve? Yeah, that's the big double-edged sword. Is that again, they are telling people or teaching people Nen to try and avoid conflict by evening out the playing field. The problem is, if conflict does happen, it's gonna be a lot worse now. That's all for today. No, I don't have to ask. It's good enough we held our ground through this unpredictable mess with ad hoc measures. Yeah. Bill, I wanted to thank you. What for? Supportive ability for an enhancer is rare with men. Most try to increase combat strength. Yeah, you would, I guess, yeah, you would think with an enhancer ability, that's the first thing you would do, right, is enhance combat strength. That's true. I guess it would be very uncommon. I know it's better for you that it not be known. Oh, that's it? You took the initiative to tell everyone your ability, even if it was strategy. I could not do it. Are you sure you want to continue? It's possible we won't even make it to our real destination. Maybe. Beyond ordered me on board to travel to the new continent, but I chose room 1014 myself. The prince was a baby, and I figured there wouldn't be any serious combat. Next page. Once the battle and the slaughter was underway, I acted tough, but sure I was conflicted. But I didn't want to escape for pathetic reasons. From a place I chose for equally pathetic reasons. And then Vincent showed up. He pissed me off. I'm a coward who finally prepared myself for the worst after listening to your exchange with the Queen. Bill, cowards don't steal themselves. Kurapika. We're gonna cancel the wholesome conversation. Okay. In exchange for 10 Temptory going last, I wanted to do the water divination. I'd feel better if one of us used Nen earlier. Your instincts are correct. The abnormal rumbling felt threatening to anyone with Nen. I wouldn't be surprised if various factions start taking steps. But Hashito, you haven't practiced the basics like the students. You'll temporarily suffer fatigue stronger than anyone else, to the point where you won't even be able to stand. I should be the one with the ability, just in case it's all a trap. Basic training should be enough to help now that we're going to be here longer anyway. Alright, 1005. So the 14th prince is the strongest truce with the 3rd prince. But it's for a limited time and not on equal terms. There are plenty of cracks to exploit. The Nen trading was authentic. I can feel it. Everyone should have this power. Thank you. Continue negotiating for an alliance. So you think we should proactively learn Nen? Yes, there's basically no danger of a trap. Presenting a trusting attitude will improve our chances for an alliance. Alright, I'll consent to further lectures. You pick who goes. Yes, ma'am. Contrary to the blatant war council, her Nen beast never shows itself. I want your ability to definitively slay the 9th prince's Nen beast. Be patient for now. He has a point, but shouldn't I go to the 9th prince, which is more urgent instead of wasting time? There's no guarantee that 5th Prince Tupepa's Nen beast is less dangerous than 9th Prince Halkenberg's just because it's hidden. The danger is the same no matter where I am. If I don't research the enemy ability myself, my predator won't grow. If I avoid risk, my ability won't live up to its potential. Next page. That's not all. Gee, this page has a lot of text. That's not all. Mars Aura. His nodes are open, primed to the final stages of learning Nen. It's an astounding improvement from this morning. This Kurapika is seriously aiming for equilibrium through proliferation. Even if a Nen novice could pose a threat, depending on the nature of their ability, having a clear purpose to defend the princes will impact the characteristics of their Nen abilities. Abilities to discern, counteract, or outright seize enemy abilities. Abilities like mine that work in opposition are bound to manifest in droves. It will become more and more dangerous while we twiddle our thumbs. We must act sooner rather than later. I'd want Predator to eliminate Kurapika, the root of all this, but that would mean discerning all hypothetical 5 abilities. That's not realistic. Yeah, that'd be a lot. The Predator goes on autopilot, making someone with multiple abilities a near impossible target, especially because it has no way to evade a counterattack. In the case of an enhancer or emitter, the person themselves become the target, but this means Predator is prone to a counterattack. It's not invincible, and if it doesn't come out perfectly suited to hit the target, it'll surely fail. Considering it needs 48 hours to recharge after use, these risks are only worth it because if it is perfect, it's devastatingly effective. So I should go after 9th Prince Halkenberg, not 5th Prince Tubeppa. My ability will be put to better use in room 1009, even with the risks if 9th Prince Halkenberg is already making moves. Yeah, I must find out the enemy ability with no prior knowledge, and I have to do this myself, or the Predator will not grow powerful. Securing safety and the aid of others will only weaken it and increase the risk of failure. Balancing risk and timing rides on experience. Since it's a life or death decision, everyone must be confident of their own instincts. I understand the captain ordered patience considering the overall picture, using his years of experience, but aren't we being too careful after Shikaku's suicide? Isn't progress that we learned 9th Prince Halkenberg, isn't it progress that we learned 9th Prince Halkenberg either has a manipulator by his side or his Nen Beast is a manipulator? Think, Rion. Why did I tell you to be patient? You're likely mistaken in your judgment of the enemy ability. But then, even I am uncertain of the truth. I cannot give you advice since that's the crux of your ability. There are hints. Shikaku was a manipulator. You must get to the answer from there. But if he wasn't manipulated, what ability could make him choose death of his own free will? A deal, maybe? Did he offer his life in exchange for a guarantee of the first prince's safety? No way Shikaku knows the act of begging for one's life is what First Prince Benjamin abhors the most, yeah. So overt. The narcissistic exhibitionist 8th Prince Sale Sale would never withdraw from a concert just because he wasn't feeling well, if he was really that sick. He would happily broadcast the fact to immerse himself into the myth of the tragic hero. Since neither is the case, 8th Prince Sale Sale is dead. Yes. And in the reshuffling of First Prince Benjamin's soldiers means he was assassinated, and I'm next. Yo! Alright, Tubeppa's on to this. I have to find out 8th Prince Sale Sale's cause of death, and if he was assassinated by Nen, I have to make a list of conceivable abilities and come up with countermeasures. Giving those who awaken to Nen this information with a mission may affect their burgeoning abilities. Hazen, take care of this. Yes, ma'am. All right, next page. Dude, that page was a fucking wall of text. Jesus. I'd like to see the shift logs of First Prince Benjamin's soldiers, but it might give them an excuse to use national defense to turn the suspicion back on me. I must be patient. Could I ask what happened in room 1008 via Mother Guard, who's spying on 8th Prince Sale Sale? At this point, Camilla finding out will be inevitable. Or Camilla. Camilla finding out will be inevitable. Finding out the cause of death and situation in the room comes as a set. I can talk to Mother myself. It's too risky to contact the second Queen soldiers myself. Mother would never make a decision without talking to Camilla. If I get the okay, I should assume Camilla is in on it. I cannot expect Meyer to defend against Nen yet. I need a partner. I need Kurapika. True. And a fourth rumbling of aura. The intervals are getting shorter. To be continued. Oh boy. I'm out of breath. That was a lot of talking. Jesus. Okay, so a lot of mind games with the Predator ability, how it's going to be used. With the third, with Tubeppa, trying to figure out, how the fuck am I going to avoid being killed? Boy. Man, all I'm saying is that shot on page 14 of Oito sleeping with Wobble, that is the most wholesome shit ever. I just want to point that out. Bill had a wholesome moment too, kind of explaining, why he's here, how he got here, how he feels about things. Yeah, so this is just like a kind of a feel-good episode as opposed to some of the last chapters, which is like really intense and scary for Theta, of course. Yeah, I love seeing the impact Kurapika is making. Everybody who's at a disadvantage right now wants to team up with Kurapika, right? And everybody who's currently has power and who's currently doing well, wants to destroy Kurapika because they don't want to have things equalized, right? So I mean, very interesting because the center of the situation still, whether it be for good or for bad. I like how they kind of mentioned like them teaching everybody Nen could backfire too. I mean, again, that's what they need to do to prolong the succession arc and to try and keep things from getting too bloody, right? Because everybody will be more worried to fight if everybody knows Nen. But at the same time, again, if they do fight, it's gonna be a lot worse than it would have been before. So, yeah, good chapter. And man, we only got 2 left. Fuck. Well, we're not going to try and think about that too much. Well, we're going to leave this off here. Again, I don't really have enough breath to keep talking anymore. A lot of mind games still. A lot of thinking. Well, one good thing, though, is Kurapika did earn people's trust this episode. That's the big thing. Is now that he's truly, doing the whole Nen teaching, people are really starting to trust him now, which is good. But yeah, I'm going to leave this off here. So as always, early access. That is down at patreon.com/sphericalfilms. And with that out of the way, I do thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys all 1 week from today with, what chapter was this? This is 388. Talk to you guys all next time with chapter 389 of Hunter x Hunter. Until then, peace out.